just it might be helpful for folk just. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and all who will graduate this evening, it is lovely to be here and lovely to share in this evening with you. As Minister at Glasgow Cathedral, it gives me a great privilege to welcome you to this ancient building, here for 900 years or so. So you do, in a sense, one denomination or church or organisation, it's the cities. And one poet says it's a serious building built on serious ground. That may be the case, but tonight I hope you have a wonderful evening within this very special space and that you're able to enter into the joy and celebration of all those who have completed, finished the journey and tonight get their rewards. So thank you for being here and welcome to Glasgow Cathedral.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to City of Glasgow College's Summer Graduation 2025. Very shortly, proceedings will commence, but before they do, could I please ask you to check that your mobile phones are either on silent mode or switched off, please? Thank you very much. For those of you who can, please be upstanding for the platform party.
Special guest of honour, Ron Robson, Chair and members of our board, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, families and friends, and of course, graduands. My name is Roy Gardner, and I am the Deputy Principal and Chief Operating Officer here at the City of Glasgow College. Welcome to the 2025 Summer Graduation. I must say how delighted I am to see so many faces. I saw many of you earlier on the Riverside campus, but now we are in such a resplendent cathedral, and it's terrific to see everyone here. All graduands, whether present here or watching online, joining us remotely from aboard our ships, is delighted to have everyone here, and it makes the qualifications you've worked so hard for all the more even impressive. As is customary, this evening's ceremony commences with an address from our college's founding principal and Chief Executive, Dr. Paul Little. Captain Dr. Paul Little is an academic leader who has successfully transformed 5 UK institutions. In 2022, Principal Little was announced as the chair of the UK Shipbuilding Skills Task Force, which brings dynamic leadership to the task force and over 40 years of naval insight as a veteran Coast Guard officer. He is also a younger brother of Trinity House, member of the UK Merchant Navy Board, a member of both the Merchant Navy and the Royal Navy Associations, a Fellow of the Royal Society of Edinburgh and a Fellow of the Nautical Institute, an honour bestowed in recognition of the substantial impact the college is having in maritime education and training, and you're all testament to that this evening. He's also a member of the UK Chamber of Shipping, and even in his spare time helps to steer Scotland's maritime strategy through the Scottish Maritime Cluster. An avid seafarer himself, our principal has combined a distinguished career of over 30 years in tertiary education, but with a very practical voluntary role in the UK and USA Coast Guards. Paul knows what it takes to serve on board and come home safely. Throughout his distinguished career, he continues to passionately advocate for the merits of equalising access to education and redefine tertiary education, something he passionately speaks to ministers and stakeholders about regularly. His leadership continues to redefine education and indeed drive the strategic direction of the City of Glasgow College, which we are all grateful for. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Principal and CEO, Dr. Paul Little.
Thank you, Deputy. Chair, guests of honour, members of our college board, distinguished guests, distinguished alumni, colleagues, graduating class of 2025. Now, I too warmly welcome each and every one of you here this evening to our 2025 summer graduation in the magnificent and historic Glasgow Cathedral. I also extend a very warm Glasgow welcome to those seafarers still at sea and to their families and friends ashore. Now, I'm particularly delighted to welcome as our guest of honour this evening a distinguished mariner and a distinguished alumni of the college, Ron Robson. I'll formally introduce him at the end of my principal's address. I look forward very much to hearing Ron's inspirational message to the next generation of seafarers, and I hope that the next generation of seafarers will remember that he was in your shoes, albeit not in those very seats. Now, class of 2025, after officiating at very many graduations over all those years, it still remains a very personal honour for me to help share the jubilation with your families and friends. Without question, it is the highlight of my academic year. It is also a distinct honour to host this celebratory evening for our graduating class and their guests in the extraordinary majestic surroundings of this 12th century cathedral, located as it is in the very heart of the Glasgow Learning Quarter, located in Scotland's mercantile capital, Glasgow, celebrating its 850th civic anniversary this very year. So it's an historic graduation in many ways. As we mark the learning achievement of today's nautical and STEM graduates, we do so given the special added significance that our college, the Next Generation College, celebrates a 15th anniversary. A 15th anniversary of bringing 4 higher education colleges together in a very bold merger to create Scotland's largest further and higher education college, which is nowadays Scotland's Polytechnic and a global leader in technological and professional education and higher skills. Now, 15 years is a small anniversary, but the City of Glasgow College can date back 172 years to our predecessor organisations, and we are but the latest iteration of nearly 2 centuries of technological learning and professional education. Now, the minister that you've met, Minister Mark Johnson, is a great friend of the City of Glasgow College. Mark wasn't able to be with us last year, and you were much missed, Mark. He did get a pass out because he was in America marrying one of his sons. So I think in my book that's a pretty good excuse for you not to be here, but we're delighted that you're here with us, Mark. So graduating class, amidst all this splendor, all this pomp, all this circumstance, here you are. Remember, this is a momentous occasion for you as an individual, not just a group here assembled for tonight. It's a time to reflect as you're waiting during the speeches and waiting for your colleagues to get their certificates. It's a time to reflect. Reflect on your achievements, knowing that you have ultimately made the grade. You passed your course. All those trials and tribulations, all those doubts, all those setbacks on your particular learning journey are over. This is also a time to recognize the collective team effort that got you to sit in the seat that you're sitting in. Because nobody achieves success alone. It is not a solo journey, despite what you might think. So we recognize at this ceremony the many lecturers, some of you here tonight, who have encouraged you and professionally nurtured you on your learning journey. And we also salute the mums and dads, grandparents, aunts and uncles and friends who have stood at your shoulder in all those difficult times. It's also an important time to acknowledge the vital role of your sponsoring companies who have helped you to this adventure of a lifetime, a career at sea. And it truly will be an adventure of a lifetime. Now, I recognize too that there'll be some in the audience, the more senior officers, this is not your first graduation. You may be returning as a second or first mate or indeed the master to get that extra bar to further promotion. And we also want to acknowledge you tonight and the journey you've made on multiple occasions. But I'm also delighted to see in the front rows and surrounding areas several of the leading representatives from the Scottish and the United Kingdom maritime sectors. I noticed Donna Stevens, Head of Operations at the Merchant Navy Training Board, Thomas Campbell, General Manager of Clyde Marine, Jerry McKeever, President of the Merchant Navy Association, Jim Holmes, Vice Chair of the Merchant Navy Association for Glasgow, Captain Ron Bailey, Interim Harbour Master of Avantis, Chris McDade, Vice President of Operations at CPAC, and many more. I also want to acknowledge online and here and publicly the much valued partnerships that we enjoy with international maritime organisations around the world. City of Glasgow College now operates across 26 different countries. We have 4,000 international enrolments, and we operate across 6 continents. But we work closely with a number of maritime colleges that actually, through that deep collaboration, send students each year to help develop the pipeline for the UK fleet and the international fleets. And we work with the top 20 shipping companies. So class of 2025, don't be too settled, because I want you to help me now to please be upstanding and to give all of those people I mentioned and the ones that I haven't mentioned a huge round of applause. So can class of 2025, will you please stand up, turn to the partner and give a huge round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Class of 2025, you are leaving a world-leading maritime college. City of Glasgow College, your alma mater, plays an important system leadership role throughout the maritime industry, both within the United Kingdom and indeed more globally. From shipping to shipbuilding, from offshore wind to global trade. Our global reach and indeed our industry impact is truly impressive. We displayed that during COP26 when we hosted at an international maritime hub, convening for 10 days the world's shipping ministers, the world's regulator for maritime, the IMO, International Maritime Organization, and indeed the International and UK Chambers of Shipping on the very campus that you studied on. Together in this state-of-the-art campus, that collection of global shipping leaders deliberated and debated on the best approaches to decarbonize the shipping industry and to transition the global shipping industry to a net zero green energy future. So we're rightly proud of the role that we played as an institution, as a global institution, in helping shipping transition to net zero. And indeed, as alluded to by the Deputy, we played a system leadership role in shipbuilding, in hosting the UK Shipbuilding Skills Task Force, and in producing a game-changing report published at the London International Shipping Week to leverage the UK skills system to enable a renaissance in UK shipping for the next 30 years. So in that report, City of Glasgow College, your alma mater, was rightly recognised as a centre of excellence in shipbuilding apprenticeships and indeed in higher diplomas in shipbuilding. So our two world-beating Scottish shipyards at either end of the M8 in BAE and Babcock stand now to benefit from that report and to flourish for the next 30 years. You can't build ships without skilled individuals. And we also look forward to working with the maritime community around the Clyde to implement the workforce optimisation report by the RAND on maritime skills on the Clyde. In addition, City of Glasgow College is also playing an increasingly important role in supporting UK defence and also pioneering new approaches in marine engineering in the training of Royal Naval officers, some of which you have studied alongside on the Riverside campus. So you might ask, Ron, about why is the City of Glasgow College so popular both at home and abroad? Well, one of the reasons is that we teach to excellent standards, not simply to competent standards to pass the course. We surpass the basic standards. Why? Because we want the next generation of seafarers to flourish, to thrive, not simply to survive. I believe, Ron, when you visited the campus recently, you saw for yourself the step change in difference between when you were a seafarer cadet officer and nowadays our new world-class Centre of Excellence, also located on the banks of the mighty River Clyde. Much has indeed changed in your time, and you may say something about that in your address. Class of 2025, such are the high standards of global excellence that you have passed, that a rigorous 6-month assessment took place of our institution by a team of global experts who concluded after those 6 months that the City of Glasgow College deserved the world-beating 7-diamond ranking. Now, there's less than the number of fingers in that finger of institutions that hold that ranking, and we are the only institution out of the 45 tertiary institutions in Scotland to hold that ranking. Indeed, so impressed with the judges that they also give us a major award for driving innovation. So we are very much the envy now of our ancient universities and the blue chip prime companies that we seek to support. Finishing overall third in the whole world of those rankings, the City of Glasgow College achieved the best ever score for an academic institution in the 40-year history of those global rankings. We're never complacent. We never rest on our laurels. And City of Glasgow College last February received from Her Majesty the Queen in Buckingham Palace the Queen's Anniversary Award for applied research, maritime research into oxygen depletion. Research will save hundreds of lives at sea. Perhaps your life and the lives of your shipmates. And I'd like to pay tribute to our lead researchers, Donald Burke and Dr. Manhal Asher. So class of 2025, you're listening to that and you're saying, well, what's that got to do with me? Because I'm getting my degree tonight, I'm getting my HND, I'm getting my special award. Why should I pay attention to that? Well, the reason why you need to pay attention to that is that gives your award global currency. So you're leaving an institution, 40,000 students, over 2,000 to 3,000 of those are in maritime. But of those 40,000 students, 93% are satisfied with their course, and 97% proceed to positive destinations. So when I hand you that well-earned scroll, at that point, you cease to become a graduate and when I shake your hand and give you the scroll, you leave that stage as a graduate. However, you're no ordinary graduate. Let me be crystal clear, class of 2025. You're a City of Glasgow College graduate, and that means truly something extra special. You graduate from the leading maritime college. You graduate from a world-class, world-ranked institution. So when you go to your ship, stand tall and tell them you graduated from Glasgow, and they will know how good you are before you've done anything else. Now, family and friends, our graduates are hugely sought after by employers. In addition to their globally recognized curriculum, the City of Glasgow College imbues them with extra graduate assets. These attributes ensure that every one of our graduates leaves connected, optimistic, globally aware, and eternally curious. We nurture that in the courses that we teach and in the way we ask them to approach their work. Now, those are all extremely valuable skills to thrive in an AI economy. The distinguished alumni in the audience will be proud to learn that your former college now has got so many international graduates from 150 different nationalities wanting to study with us. Each and every day, we collectively resolve to let learning flourish through being inspirational each day in how we teach, being excellent in the way we teach and the standards we teach to, and being innovative each and every year. Now, this is a naval graduation, hence some of the naval references and some of the naval paraphernalia and tunics and the standards. But it's also an international graduation, and we epitomize that by our online presence, but also by having many graduates with us tonight from India, from Pakistan, Kuwait, elsewhere, and of course, huge numbers from all 4 nations of the United Kingdom. Now, sitting in front of me are 150 of our finest Merchant Navy officers. They're deck officers, electro-technology officers, engineering officers, officers of the watch, chief mates, and masters. Now, they all couldn't be here tonight. Given the excessive and incessant need of global trade, there's a further half at sea, some of whom are listening to this online. Some of those officers will graduate in our winter graduation in November. Regardless, each graduate will leave their home port of Glasgow with fresh talent, with finely honed skills, with a professional that is second to none, to take up command in either the UK or the International Merchant Marine. Now, as I alluded to earlier, many of our cadet officers are generously sponsored by the global shipping companies, indeed by the UK government. So I'd like to take this public opportunity to pay tribute and personally thank all those organisations that support us, from the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency, the Department of Transport, the UK Chamber of Shipping, the Merchant Navy Board, Calmac Ferries, Carnival UK, Clyde Marine Training, Havantis, Just Be Maritime, the Merchant Navy Association, Northlink Ferries, Princess Cruises, CPAC, Stream Marine, Watermark, and Zodiac Maritime. Similarly, I want to pay tribute to all those international partners that send their students after 1 or 2 years to finish their final year at the City of Glasgow colleges. Those international partners that work with us each year, from India, from BP Marine, from Wales University, from Gamma Marine Training Institute, from Pakistan, from the Maritime Training Institute in Karachi, and from Kuwait, from the Kuwaiti Oil Tanker Company and the Kuwait Oil Company, as well as from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now, Ron, you'll be proud to learn that the City of Glasgow College has got this maritime reputation. And these days, we train over 40% of all the United Kingdom's maritime merchant navy officers. We're the largest of the 4 maritime academies in the United Kingdom, and we're growing. This year, we reaffirmed our pole position as the leader of maritime education in the UK by installing a new suite of state-of-the-art, next-generation ship bridge simulators, the most advanced anywhere in Europe or beyond. And you've had an opportunity, class of 2025, to use those. Now, this cutting-edge technology allows our students to train in hyper-realistic situations, replicating conditions such as busy international ports, or indeed the open ocean in storms, or indeed navigating the high polar north. Tonight, we pay tribute to all our graduates, and we pay extra tribute to those 12 exceptional officers who have surpassed our already exceptionally high standards, who will get additional awards. And these officers have not got these awards only through their academic excellence. They've also got these awards because they've gone above and beyond what we would normally expect of a shipmate to help a fellow shipmate. That's part of the cherished and time-honored tradition of the Merchant Navy, and they've exemplified that tonight. And they'll get special awards from our chair and our guest of honor. Now, I'm about to conclude, and I'm about to say my last words to the class of 2025. I remember when I graduated the words that were given to me. I'm proud of your success. Your family is proud of your success. Your company is proud of your success. Your industry will be proud of your success. You've exceeded that very high standard that we have set for you. You've excelled in some of the most challenging circumstances in the last few years. You are extraordinary naval officers. Now, as you leave us here this evening, you're now ready for command with all the necessary skills and knowledge and indeed graduate attributes to transition from ship to shore, from command to corporate, from leading a bridge team or an engineering team to leading a teaching team or indeed to leading a ship management team. And graduating class of 2025, as alluded to earlier, as a former Coast Guard officer, indeed, both in the UK and the United States, I think back to my 5th District operations and to the wise prophetic words of the Commander-in-Chief, the then 35th President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, another young man in a hurry to make a difference. And he said something simple that has always stayed for me for years and years and years. So please try and remember this. He said, one person can make a difference, but everybody should try. So can you now be that one person on your ship that makes a difference? Can you try each and every day in the global maritime world that we have prepared you for? You have my heartiest and sincerest congratulations. I wish you fair winds, class of 25. Let Glasgow be proud of you. Let the Merchant Navy be proud of you. Thank you. Now I'd like to formally introduce our guest of honour, Ron Robson. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce Ron. He's a very special guest of honour. He's a distinguished alumni. He studied at our college. Now, he's flourished in his career since. As we meet him tonight, he is actually also a chartered accountant. He's a commissioner of the Northern Lighthouse Board, one of the 3 lighthouse authorities for the British Isles. He's currently a director of Clyde Munro Group, which is Scotland's largest chain of dental practices. However, his career started as a Merchant Navy deck officer, like some of you tonight. Ron started his career at sea for 4 years, initially at P&O, and his first ship was a specialist diving support vessel in the North Sea. Now, Ron has come ashore, and since that time, he's spent a number of senior executive positions in finance and in leadership, including managing director of a US-based investment company, finance director for a shipping company, finance director for, perhaps some interest in a brewery, Belhaven Brewery. Some of you be impressed to know that he's a non-executive director and chairman of one of the largest pub and restaurant groups, Mitchell and Butlers. And there'll be some sporting amongst you that say, my goodness, tell me about your 7 years as a director of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Married with 2 grown-up daughters, Ron spends much of his time in his family's sailing boat off the west coast of Scotland. Ron is also a Merchant Navy veteran of the Falklands War, which is a hugely significant survivor of a major conquest. In 2025, Ron's story proves to all of us, and particularly the young seafarers in front of us, that by studying at the City of Glasgow College, the world truly is your oyster. So can you please give a very warm Glasgow home welcome to our guest of honour, Ron Robson. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Principal. Congratulations, all of you. Congratulations to everyone graduating today. What an amazing place this cathedral is to celebrate your achievements. And you deserve to celebrate those achievements. All of the hard work, dedication, and long hours of studying that have brought you here today to become the latest in a long line of seafarers to graduate from what is definitely our nation's finest nautical college. It's an incredible honour and a privilege for me to stand here today and celebrate along with you. Today is not just a celebration of your academic achievements, but also a reflection of your resilience, your determination, and your dreams for the future. Today, we rightly celebrate your success, and I hope to inspire you a little by sharing some of my journey as well, which also began, as Paul said, just as yours has, in the Riverside faculty of the City of Glasgow College, although in my day it was called Glasgow College of Nautical Studies. 43 years ago, it's a long time, I was in exactly the same position you are in now, and I suspect feeling the same way, a mixture of pride about having passed my final exams and a little nervous about what the future holds. Although we did not have a graduation ceremony then. In fact, we didn't even graduate. Our last day was the final oral exam, which as now was face-to-face with an experienced ship's master. Terrifying. After an hour or so of intense grilling, we were told there and then if we passed or not. There was no graduation, no scroll. Each of us just walked up to the Shipbank pub on the Salt Market, just round the corner from the campus, and we sat there and waited for our friends to arrive, one after the other. Thankfully, most of them smiling, some downcast. And that was it. We said our goodbyes, and we went off to explore the world. This is so much better. It's only right and proper to honour your achievements and to celebrate them with your family and friends as well. So, what of my journey? I first came to the college in August 1980, a fresh-faced and naive 17-year-old from a small farming town in the northeast of Scotland. I had little idea about Glasgow, let alone the rest of the world. The college was very different from now as well. The buildings were getting a little bit tired even then, and the way we were taught and the equipment would not have been that unfamiliar to a mariner from over 100 years previously. Paper charts, sextants, morning and evening stars, no GPS. We were not even allowed to use calculators in our exams. We had to use Norrie's tables and mental arithmetic. Thankfully, you don't have to do that anymore. Now, this is the point when I'm supposed to say it was all better in my day, and you lot have it easy. That is complete and utter nonsense. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Last week, as the principal said, I was very lucky to be giving a tour of the college, and the facilities are absolutely fantastic. The engine room and bridge simulators are as good, if not better, than anything in the world. The STEM area is fantastic, and the student facilities are absolutely outstanding. The thought and care that goes into student welfare is something that simply did not exist in my day. In so many ways, this is so much better. You may not realise it now, but you will look back in your time here as being very special. The friendships made will last a lifetime. The lessons learned will underpin everything that you do from now. But it's not just what you're taught. It's also the lessons that you learn by yourself. The confidence, self-discipline, and adaptability to live and work in a team are valuable lessons that can take you anywhere. I was what we called a fleet cadet with P&O, which meant we could go any ship in the fleet. I was lucky to spend time on a variety of those, including a container ship, went round the world in 88 days, a bulk carrier across the Atlantic and Pacific, a cruise ship in the Mediterranean, and a gas tanker trading between Alaska and Japan. I even spent 6 months on a hospital ship in the South Atlantic during the Falklands War, which was a very different experience. You just never know what's around the corner when you choose a life at sea, although I sincerely hope none of you end up in a war zone. My time at this college and at sea provided not only the technical skills required for a career in the Merchant Navy, but also those crucial life skills of confidence, self-discipline, and adaptability. Skills that have proven themselves time and time again throughout my career. They will do the same for you, no matter what you do. Many of you will go from here to build a long and fulfilling career at sea. Others will come ashore and remain in the industry in one of their related roles, such as logistics, superintendency, or crewing. Others will take a different path, perhaps unrelated to the sea. In my case, I stayed on ships for a while, working in a DSV in the North Sea for some time after getting my ticket. I still have that, it's one of my prized possessions. But then I came ashore, going to university in Aberdeen as a mature student, ending up as a professional accountant and moving into business. But even then, I could not stray far from the sector. I've been finance director of a shipping company, a director of Aberdeen Harbour, and, as Principal said, I'm now a commissioner of the Northern Lighthouse Board, the organisation which is responsible for all 208 lighthouses and many more buoys around the coast of Scotland and the Isle of Man. Now, as you, being seafarers, as you will be very aware, lighthouses and buoys are designed to warn shipping to stay away from danger. Well, every day our ships deliberately go into those places in order to maintain the lighthouses and buoys. Our crews probably experience more practical seamanship in a week than most mariners do in a year. And a little plug here, we're always on the lookout for navigators, engineers, and electric technicians. See me afterwards. Aside from the shipping-related work, I've been lucky to be involved in a few other interesting roles, including 7 years as a director of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, nothing to do with this season at all, for those of you who support football. Deputy chairman of the UK's largest pub company. I've run farms in Poland, and have even run a company building hand-built motor cars in Bristol. It's been an interesting and fun journey, but it seems very fitting to come back today full circle to the college where all of that began. It was here that I learned those fundamental lessons that have underpinned everything I've done over the years. Confidence, self-discipline, teamwork, and adaptability. I've been very lucky to have done a lot in my time, but that young 17-year-old who turned up here in 1980 with no life experience is really no different to any one of you. That's the beauty of what you've learned in your time here. It has prepared you not just for one career, but for many. Life, like the sea, is seldom calm. There'll be storms, setbacks, and moments when you need to change course. But there'll also be exhilarating voyages, fantastic discoveries, and the sheer joy of accomplishing something that you thought was impossible. You may not realize it yet, but your time here has equipped you to face whatever may come with confidence and competence. As you prepare to embark on your next chapter, know that the world needs what you bring. Whether you find yourself on the high seas, managing logistics ashore, or venturing into entirely new fields, the resilience, determination, and abilities you've gained will set you apart. You are the latest in a long and proud tradition, and I urge you to embrace that. Be unafraid of change, unafraid of new challenges, and above all, be unafraid to dream. The skills and knowledge that you've gained here are capable of taking you wherever you wish to go. As you leave this college, remember the camaraderie you've shared, the lessons you've learned, and the dreams you've nurtured. And never forget that your success is not yours alone. It's shared by your tutors, your families, and everyone who's supported you along the way. Today, you're not just graduates. You're ambassadors for this amazing institution. As someone who once walked that same path, I can assure you this legacy is a powerful one. It has the potential to open doors, build bridges, and shape the future in ways that you may not yet realise. Congratulations again. May you have fair winds and following seas in all that you do. The world is waiting for you. Thank you.
Many thanks for your erudite and insightful words, Ron. If I'd known you were a Tottenham supporter, I'd say your team were lucky last month, and I say that as a Man U fan. Ladies and gentlemen, we're fast approaching the presentation of awards. Therefore, can I now invite Principal and Chief Executive Dr Paul Little to the front of the chancel to present the graduates with their scroll, and someone that will need no introduction to the majority of the graduates here tonight, Miss Claire Guthrie, to read the presentations.
So, Higher National Certificate in Marine Engineering, Archie Buck. Kai Collin. Harry Cooper. Connor Kyle. Jamie McIver MacDonald. Sean Alexander McConnell. Scott Murray. Benjamin Sharples. Higher National Diploma in Marine Engineering, Omar Almatari. Abdullah Al-Shaji. Mohammed Al-Zayed. Thea Dunn. James Foote. Robert Alexander Forrest. Tyler Gillis. Mackenzie Haggerty. James Heaney. Rory Kennedy. Gary Nicholson. Johnny Nicholson. Alistair Pike. William Richardson. Caden Ray Charlie Stewart. Gavin Watts. The Higher National Diploma in Marine Electrotechnology, Jay Galloway. Kieran Gunn. Benjamin Long. Fergus Alexander McIntyre. Finlay McKinnon. Drew Morrison. Gabriel Munday. Tom Quick. Willis Tyler Singleton. Kevin Grant Smith. Peter Stirling. Benjamin Ryan Taylor. Jordan Wiley. For the Professional Development Award in Marine Management, Christopher Busuttil. Jacob Cameron. Mitchell Ferguson. David Fleming. John Lang. Alexander John McInnes. Liam McKinnon. Ross Morrison. Christopher Rike. Akib Khalid Aziz Sabri. Rory Sinclair, Oliver Williamson. The Higher National Certificate in Nautical Science, Thomas Richard Bodley Scott, Matthew Greenwood, Marcus Hudson, Leo Jackson, Jigme Jones, Oliver Lockley, Alec MacDonald, Christopher McNeil, Ross Robert Manson, Rory McCush, Oliver John Rogers, Zoe Fraser Spears. For the Higher National Certificate in Nautical Science, Experienced Seafarer Route, Andrew Anthony Raj. Advanced Diploma in Nautical Science, Zainul Abdin Abdin, Mr. Orion, Arun Burdwa, Parath Sanjay Bhosale, Pratik Parmshwar Bidve, Arnav Chuan, Badal Dariam Kanojia, Shreyash Prashant Dej, Karvalson Delson, Rajit De, Venkata Chandra Sekar Rao Dodla, Vivskag Sagar Dumu, Om Vinod Game, Sahil Santosh Gawade, Janice Preet Singh Gill, John Santosh John Brito, Musaf Mabin Karjika, Abdur Khan, Aslan Khan, Sahaya Abhishek Luston, Gunalam Manivelu, Deep Hirishkesh Matre, Shikar Munikumar, Arjun Numalakal Manoj, Ayush Patel, Sani Patel, Joel Dishon Wilfred Pereira, Jaya Satya Ventun Pechimotu, Abhinav Sene, Pratham Kundalika Salyan, Omkar Shirag Shah, Saqib Hasnain Sheikh, Dakash Dinesh Shinde, Ronik Rajendra Solanka, Milan Tandel, Najib Ula, Raj Umrao, Muhammad Zuhair. The Higher National Diploma in Nautical Science, Rory Campbell, Joseph Ronald Ailes, Aaron Ben Brierley, Benjamin Heegren, Darren Gifford, Ewan MacLeod, George Penketh King, Bernard Griffiths. For the Professional Development Award in Marine Operations, John Brogan, Ryan Campbell, Louis Donnelly, Jake Gifford, Callum Graham, Douglas Neil Hodgson, Hugo Bruce Hovelman, Regina Hootenun, Devon Jeffers, Rebecca Lure, Finn Patrick MacDonald, Alana Mackenzie, Harry Manning, Elle McHugh, Alice MacDonald, Callum Finlay McGarvery, David Robertson, and William Savitt. The Chief Mate Master, including Advanced Diploma in Nautical Science, Shurya Deep Singh. For the Chief Mate Master, including Higher National Diploma in Nautical Science, Maybe Clement, Lewis Curry, Sean Jared Knight, David James McLean, Jeremiah Olamoke, Alan Risk, Oliver Walton Sales. That concludes it, Principal.
Thank you, Principal. Thank you, Claire. Many congratulations again to all and to everyone who's named here in the programme who are watching online or aboard their ships. We now have the college prizes to present, so I'd like to invite our chair, Mr. Dave Anderson, to step forward to present the college prizes. It gives me great pleasure to announce our college prize winners for 2025, and the first one is the Best Practical Marine Engineer, Tyler Gillies. Put that one on your Instagram, Tyler. Next one, Best Progress Award for Engineering / ETO, Benjamin Long. Well done, Benjamin. Best Progress Award in Nautical Science, Om Vinod Game. Well done. And the Faculty Recognition Award in Engineering, James Heaney. Well done, James. The Faculty Recognition Award for Nautical Studies, Bernard Griffiths. Thank you very much for presenting the column prizes. Chair, may you take your seat. I would now like to invite our distinguished guest, Mr. Peter Stewart from Clyde Marine Training, to present the Clyde Marine Training prizes. The Clyde Marine Training Award Deck Cadet of the Year goes to Regina Huttunen. Well done, Regina. The Clyde Marine Training Award for Engineering Cadet of the Year goes to Mitchell Ferguson. Well done. Thank you, Peter, and for all that Clyde Marine Training support the college. Thank you for all your efforts. I would now like to invite distinguished guest Jim Holmes, Chair of the Merchant Navy Association, to present the Merchant Navy Association of Glasgow Prize. And the Merchant Navy Association Glasgow Prize goes to Scott Murray. Thank you, Mr. Holmes, and thank you to the Merchant Navy Association. I would now like to invite Chris McDade, Vice President of Operations at CPEAK, to present the Betsy Miller Award. The CPEAK Betsy Miller Award celebrates students who have made a significant contribution to the progression of diversity, equality and inclusion DEI efforts, which benefit the maritime industry. Rebecca has proactively supported a number of college initiatives and campaigns, speaking passionately on the support structures which could be introduced to make a difference to the lives of all of those seafarers. Her peers describe her as a highly compassionate colleague who confidently challenges behaviours which serve to diminish equality efforts. She strives to make the industry better for everyone, which is the ethos of CPEAK, which they fully support. The Betsy Miller Award goes to Rebecca Lua. Thank you, Chris. And also thank you to Just Be Maritime for helping support and sponsor that award as well. We now have the special awards to present, and I'm delighted to invite our guest speaker, Mr. Ron Robinson, to come forward again to present these top college prizes. The Salveson Trust Prize is awarded annually to a cadet who has shown great determination to succeed throughout their studies. The 2025 Salveson Trust Prize is awarded to Willis Tyler Singleton. Well done. Well done, Willis. And thank you again to Just Be Maritime for sponsoring. The Northern Lighthouse Board prizes are presented to the cadets who are fully committed to their future careers at sea and have excelled academically throughout their studies. The Northern Lighthouse Board Prize for Engineering Cadet of the Year is presented to Christopher Basutti. Well done, Christopher. And thank you to Clyde Marine Training for sponsoring. The Northern Lighthouse Board Prize for Deck Cadet of the Year is presented to John Brogan, sponsored by the RFA. Thank you, Ron. If you can just stay there before you take your seat, I would like to invite our principal to present you with a small token of appreciation from the graduating class of 2025. And finally, a heartfelt congratulations once again to the incredible class, all the prize winners, all the graduates. We hope today has been everything you dreamed of, a joyful celebration that you enjoyed with friends and family, and for those watching online, dedication and well-earned success, you deserve it all. As you leave here today, we hope you celebrate this moment with your family and friends, especially tonight. There's some sunlight left. And wherever your journey takes you next, remember you'll always be part of the City of Glasgow College family. The Alumni Association, you are more than welcome to join it, and we would love to keep in touch of your journeys and travels. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and here's to a future filled with opportunity, purpose and pride. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please be upstanding for the platform party as we leave the stage.